Yes, now listen, if you live in California, there's probably a ballot in your mailbox on a recall election. Please find that thing, vote no, stick that sucker right back in your mailbox because the options are bad.
I don't care if you live in urban or rural parts of the state, man. We have your back, care about you because you care about your family, you care about your community. We're all in this damn thing together. 20 days to go.
Well said. We'll leave it there. I've got my ballot right here that I just filled out, so I'll be heading to the drop box in the next day or so, and just keep powering through, and good luck, and we'll just make sure everybody votes no.
I love it. I appreciate you, and I appreciate this opportunity.
Hello, Californians. You've got a big choice to make by September 14th. Governor Newsom has spent the past year and a half protecting California communities. Your vote could be the difference between protecting our kids and putting them at risk.
And before she was vice president, they were close friends, and they still are. Today, Governor Newsom brought out the most powerful woman in the country to help him keep his job. NBC Bay Area's Melissa Colorado was in San Leandro when Vice President Kamala Harris arrived back home.
Bay Area. It's good to be home.
That home is now the battleground for the recall election that will decide whether Governor Gavin Newsom keeps his job or not.
6 more days.
Greeted union leaders and warned Democrats what's at stake if they sit out next Tuesday.
They're thinking that if they can get this done in California, they can go around the country and do this.
The vice president brought up Newsom's leadership during the pandemic, touting his vaccination efforts.
Gavin stepped up to the moment.
But it's those photos of the governor at a birthday dinner in the Napa Valley last year that some voters like Margie Vanderhave of Pleasanton can't seem to get past.
He could go out to dinner, but nobody else, and not wear a mask at the French Laundry.
Vanderhave says her vote is going to conservative radio talk show host Larry Elder.
Just one day out from the California recall election, President Biden is pushing to help Governor Gavin Newsom keep his job. The president is joining Governor Newsom on a campaign stop in Long Beach. He's urging Californians to vote no. It's been a year and a half since petitioners launched the recall effort. Recent polling shows more than 60% of likely voters oppose the recall.
Everybody listening to this video, I think it's imperative that you hear this message.
It's all on the line. America, it's all on the line. President Trump believes in you. He emancipates and lifts you up to live your American dream. You are capable. You are qualified. You are powerful, and you have the ability to choose your life. Fighters for freedom and liberty and the American dream. The best is yet to come.
Ladies and gentlemen, this crazy woman is Governor Newsom's ex-wife. Yes, they were married from 2001 to 2006. And I'm not just calling her a crazy woman because she supports Trump, but you can be the judge for yourself. Look into the real reason why she left Fox News. And you know what I'm talking about. Gavin Newsom is a corrupt establishment Democrat. California is a disaster. People are leaving the country in droves. Homelessness is exploding. It's been exploding for some time, even more so now after the pandemic. The housing crisis is out of control. You can't afford a home there. You have to do 2-hour commutes. I mean, one of my favorite bands as a kid, Skid Row. I didn't even know what Skid Row even meant. And then in the middle of the pandemic, the French Laundry situation, shutting down people's businesses, not allowing them to even do safe outdoor dining after you invested your money in outdoor dining, shutting them down and having movie companies do the same thing literally in the same parking lot. Gavin Newsom represents the reason why, one of the key reasons why the elections are always close. You wonder why the elections are always close like that? It's because of people like Gavin Newsom. It's people like Governor Cuomo, former Governor Cuomo. People like Nancy Pelosi. For people who are not super partisan, they're independents, maybe they're not so engaged, they see people like Gavin Newsom, they see how much of a swamp creature is Pelosi, and then they see Obama coming out and showing support. AOC, it's supposedly radical AOC supporting this establishment swamp creature. And it turns people off. And people like this party is elitist. They're a fraud. I mean, even your supposed radical for the people AOC is supporting it. So it's like the whole party is just a disaster. And if you're not really engaged and you don't happen to know how much of a disaster the Republican Party is, you may be tricked by some right-wing media channel into voting Republican because of how bad you see the Democrats has. Or you might just not vote at all. This is the reason why people like Nina Turner, who probably would have been a good thing for Ohio if she had won. I didn't want her to win because she was setting herself up to be another fraud squad by all her actions. Definitely said she was going in that direction, which puts me in an odd situation. I think she would have been definitely a better candidate than the one who won, but she would have been giving us breadcrumbs as basically an establishment Democrat who ran on progressive rhetoric. But one of the reasons why she lost is because of exactly this. Just think about that. For those of you guys that you're on board with this whole thing about, oh, we got to keep Gavin Newsom in and all that kind of stuff. You think about that for a second. There are people on the margins who, let's say in the Nina Turner election, you want to blame people on YouTube for why she didn't win. This is one of the reasons why she would have lost. People on the margins who you need to win elections because elections are so tight. So you need the people on the margins because they're very close. So a little nudge, just a little extra nudge and you win. Right? So people on the margins, they see the swamp. Cuomo, Newsom, AOC, Pelosi. And then they see Nina Turner running as a Democrat. And you don't have good feelings about the Democrats. So you don't vote. Right? It's not even a Republican versus Democrat thing. This is a people who would be inclined to vote for a left-leaning candidate won't show up because the left-leaning party keeps being such a swamp and keeps supporting swamp creatures. And again, when you have the supposed most radical people like AOC supporting the very swamp, the party has no integrity, no credibility, rather, whatsoever. People are like, there's no hope. If even the radicals are doing this, why would I come out and vote for a Democrat? Right? So then they don't show up. The only people you get are the more partisan people, more, the people who really engage and they're, vote blue no matter who. But that's not enough to win elections. Unless you got somebody like Trump running. But in a normal election, the vote blue, no matter who, squad is not going to be enough to push you over the line. If you want those margins to be in your favor, you need to clean up your swamp. The swamp creatures in both parties, but right now I'm addressing the Democratic Party. You need to reject people like Gavin Newsom. He should have been kicked out. This is a perfect opportunity to send a message that the Democratic Party is serious about cleaning themselves up. And they're no longer supporting swamp creatures like Gavin Newsom. You push him out, you put a Democrat in. You have Kevin. Meet Kevin. What does the media do? Left-leaning media. They try to erase him and pretend he doesn't exist. Right? So-called fake progressive media, pretend he doesn't exist. Left-leaning media, pretend he doesn't exist. You have a Democrat running who's leading right now. So in terms of this argument about, we got to keep Larry Elder, the Democratic candidate, Meet Kevin, is leading. If AOC was legit, then instead of supporting a swamp creature, she would support Kevin. He's not ideal, but he's a Democrat, and you can send a clear message and keep things within the Democratic Party. Why would you endorse a failure like Gavin Newsom? Why should anyone trust anyone who would support Gavin Newsom? For me personally, I think any of these people that I showed you in this video who are endorsing Gavin Newsom, I think they should be blacklisted, never to be trusted. Every single one of them should be seen as swamp creatures. Only a swamp creature would support another swamp creature. Swamp creatures and their mouthpieces. How about, and you want to talk about, the Senate and all that. What's the difference? You lose the Senate, then what? You're gonna continue to do nothing? You're gonna continue to not do what you ran on? You're gonna continue to not push for anything with healthcare, anything with minimum wage? So that's what we're risking. We're risking losing the majority so you can continue doing nothing. If you're really concerned about the majority, how about the Democratic Party reach out to Newsom and say, you need to get your act together. We need to see some changes. What you're doing is not working. It's a failure. The American people deserve better. Shape up or ship out. We've got a couple people lined up. And if this recall goes anywhere, we're gonna endorse this Democratic candidate and push you out. That's what you do when you're serving the American people. You have somebody like Governor Cuomo, you kick him out. You don't wait until all this drama and back and forth and months and months. No. You're like, listen, this is not what this party stands for. You're out. Gavin Newsom, you're not doing a good job. You're hurting the party. You're giving the Republicans talking points. Look at California with the homelessness. You've been governor for a while. You had your shot. Now it's time to move on. Keep in mind that whoever replaces Gavin Newsom would only be there for a year. Larry Elder would definitely be out the door. So why are they not supporting getting Newsom out and putting another Democratic candidate in? Because the same way they can endorse and they can move the needle to people rejecting the recall, they could move the needle. I mean, you already have a Democratic candidate that's leading on his own. Imagine what would happen if the Democratic Party were to put their endorsement against somebody else. But the establishment protects the establishment, which makes AOC the establishment. This is Debate Me channel. Debate Me comment section below. Click on the like button, subscribe, smash that bell. Be well. Blacklist everyone that supports Gavin Newsom staying in office. Anyone who's serious about having the party be better and serving the American people would be so excited about this recall. Because that's what you need. You need to be making moves to clean up the party. Getting rid of this guy would be such a move. Why would you waste an opportunity to send a message to the party and to the American people that status quo won't cut it anymore? Well, of course, you never do that if that's not how you feel. Tell me your thoughts.
The ABC 7 News I-team revealed 9 companies, part of the Plump Jack Group founded by Governor Newsom, received millions in funding through the Paycheck Protection Program. The intent of the federal program was to keep small businesses afloat during the pandemic.
New data released by the SBA and analyzed by ABC 7 News indicates Plump Jack businesses, including wineries, bars, and restaurants, 8 of which are partially owned by Governor Newsom, received nearly $3 million in PPP loans. Good evening, I'm Dan Ash.
So we just saw Joe Biden. He's in Marine One. He's heading your way. Why does Gavin Newsom need him?
Well, the reason Gavin Newsom needs him is because he's done a lousy job as governor. By the way, a lot of people have weighed in. Barack Obama has weighed in. Bernie Sanders has weighed in. Senator Warren has weighed in. And they never say the following magical words. Gavin Newsom has done a good job for the people of California. They can't defend his record on crime. They can't defend his record on homelessness. They can't defend his record on the way he ignored science and shut down this state while his own children were enjoying in-person private education, while he was sitting up there at the French Laundry ignoring the masks and the social distancing mandates that the very people who drafted the mandates were sitting there with him. He can't defend his record on the fact that people are leaving California for the first time in our state's 170-year history. They can't defend his record on fire management. They can't defend his record on the fact that we're having rolling brownouts. They can't defend his record on the fact that we are running out of water because we haven't added to our water infrastructure system in about 40 years. They can't defend his record on anything. So none of these surrogates coming from outside California have uttered the following words. Gavin Newsom has done a good job for the people of California.
This is not the first time people have left California. People have been leaving California for quite a while. I'm pretty sure there's been a surge in terms of an increasing number of people leaving California. But to say that for the first time, people leaving California, that would be a lie.
This place has it in it to be better. I know it does. I've met so many good people in this country. Not the elites. Absolutely not. But the person I meet, that's the housekeeper at the hotel I'm staying at, who shouldn't even have that title because she's a queen of a woman. And then we have the Jennifer Siebel Newsoms of the world.
So you just heard her mention Jennifer Siebel Newsom. McGowan also accused Newsom's wife, Jennifer Siebel Newsom, of bribing her to suppress the Weinstein scandal. Here's her story.
Jennifer Siebel Newsom, I think that is her name, yes. She called me and she set up a meeting with me to meet her somewhere in Brentwood. And I actually went and I got very creeped out and I saw her sitting where I was supposed to meet her, and I looked at her and I turned around and went back into my car and drove away. She wanted to meet me.
Wait, when is this? When is this? Just to be clear.
This is about 6 months before the New York Times article on Weinstein that I set up broke.
Okay.
And she called me on behalf of a Theranos board member, the lawyer for longtime lawyer of Hillary and Bill and Clinton and Weinstein, one David Boyce. So this woman, I don't know, some blonde lady named with the last name of Newsom, cold calls me. And it's like, David Boyce wants to know what it would take to make you happy.
David Boyce wants to know what it would take to make you happy. McGowan also tweeted Newsom's connection to the Weinstein case, detailing the various connections. She writes, Jennifer Siebel Newsom's sister is married to a partner at the Boyce Schiller law firm, Joshua Irwin Schiller. Rose McGowan thinks Jennifer Siebel Newsom wants to speak with her about supporting women directors in Hollywood. They agree to meet. Rose sees through Jennifer's false gesture and leaves. Shortly after Rose canceled the meeting, Jennifer Siebel Newsom, who's Gavin Newsom's wife again, she called Rose McGowan directly and asked, what could Boyce Schiller do to make you happy? Now